All right, welcome back. We'll go through some more questions that I got and tell you kind of my update on what I plan on be running on top of the retatrutide and SLU, SLU PP332, and the methylene blue. I'll tell you kind of my plans for that because someone asked, and I will let you know. First of all, they asked like, are these peptides something that you can run year round and never come off? Like, do you have to cycle off? I mean, I would say think about it like HRT, right? And you go about blood work. Now, you're not going to be able to go to a physician at a hospital or a clinical setting that have to follow board policies, but you can go to wellness clinics and such, and they do prescribe these peptides, so you can get it from a compounding pharmacy. If you don't get it from other places, like I like to get mine now from Paramount Peptide, and then also Chase Irons has a company which I don't remember the name. It's like Omega something. But I I don't see a need right now to have to cycle off these peptides if it's improving your health. So if you see diminishing returns or adverse effects or side effects that you would not like to have, then I would say either lower the dose, come off of it, or try something new along the same line. Um, so I've been extremely satisfied and surprised with the third generation GLP-1 retatrutide, and um, I hope that the FDA just kind of puts a halt on it for go through clinical trials because I don't want them to be the ones taking control and prescribing those things. They don't have to wait for the fourth generation to come out. So, which would probably be better. But I mean, so far, I'm still on that 1 milligram every 7 days. I like the peak in my bloodstream. Again, I don't use it for hunger control by slowing my gastric emptying. I don't notice those effects. I use it to help with redirecting my addictive behaviors, and it seems to be resetting my dopamine. It just gets solidified the longer that I use it. The SLU, again, bumping my dose up to 1 milligram in the morning. I just take it once before I work out, and that's whenever I train is in the morning. Even if I don't work out, I'm still taking it in the morning. I just think that's a very effective way to help with increasing the metabolic process because you should at least try to do some sort of fasted cardio. And I understand thermodynamics, whether you are in a fed or non-fed state. For cardio, for weight loss purposes, as far as burning calories, but I don't look as cardio as being used for burning calories. I look at it for two different options. Either one, you're using it for cardiovascular health and to aid in mitochondrial health. I believe that there's a lot of things that can happen if you do fasted cardio. And again, these are my beliefs based on what I see on blood work and just habits. But I think the mitochondria seem to run more efficiently in a fasted state. And we can see that with like our well-being and also our immune system, our energy levels throughout the day, the cognitive energy that we have. So I see all those benefits. And again, I haven't been sick since like before COVID, right? So I'm pretty sure I had some sort of like really bad illness before COVID, which is probably COVID before COVID, and it ended up blowing my eardrums. So I was like 99% deaf in an ear, and then like 80 something percent deaf in the other ear. So, um, but that was the last time I was sick. I haven't had any other illness. I don't take acetaminophen. I don't have headaches. I don't have any of these things, and I haven't in a very, very long time. I've only gave myself rhabdo twice in the past uh, 6 years. So, um, but that was my fault. So uh, I just see a benefit in the fasted cardio. I'm a big fan for Clients make time for it. In my opinion, I think we have the same 24 hours in the day, and we can change things around to make that time for fasted cardio to improve health. And there's only a few situations where work schedules and families uh, is it it's pretty much near impossible to do fasted cardio all the time. So at least a few times out of the week, that would be great. But you know, slow, long, steady state cardio, I love um, before workout and after workout. I'm not going to be using glucose, doing slow, steady state before my workout. And then after my workout, I can take the benefit after training intensely to now switch from the glycogen usage, so all those carbs, to using some fatty acids. And again, the SLUPP and the methylene blue and that's all. And yeah, so that's all working post workout cardio. So I thoroughly enjoy it. So I just with my schedule, I do cardio in the morning before my workout to warm up, just my overall kind of wakefulness, and then I do my training, and then I do cardio afterwards. And again, all low steady state. Now, if I was trying to have a more athletic performance purpose, or even training my abilities and to keep the ability to sprint, which I think is a very important ability that we all have, and we lose it. Uh, so sprinting, I do use. If you can go to a track, that's better because if you sprint on a treadmill, unless you have one of those self-propelled ones, like the True Grit ones or assault ones, um, you're not getting really the benefit because the belt runs under your foot. So it's kind of like you're just lifting your feet up. So you'd want to sprint against gravity. Um, but again, you also get other benefits from that in a fasted state because now you can start burning off visceral body fat. So in my opinion, it's the best of both worlds. Your cardiovascular system as well gets improved for being able to manage lactic acid buildup, breathing, so your pulmonary system gets better trained, and the vascular system. So it makes your arteries and veins more elastic, right? We want to keep that so it can control blood pressure fluctuations, which during workouts, we want to have acute high blood pressure. That also increases strength. And epinephrine, norepinephrine plays a role in that as well. But if your arteries and veins are so stiff, you're not going to get the benefits, right? And then you might most likely might feel a little dizzy, or you're just unable to catch your breath. And or post training that hard, sometimes you can get an immune response to have like a pulmonary edema. So we want to avoid that, right? So my plans coming up with the change to my peptides is I'm still going to be running retatrutide at 1 milligram. I'm still going to be running SLU, so Reta at 1 milligram every 7 days, SLU 1 milligram every single day. And I have about 3 more days, 4 more days, yeah, 4 more days of methylene blue at 10 milligrams. So I'm going to drop that. And we're going to start SS31. So that's an injectable peptide. Peptides, always inject them subcutaneous. Amino acids, you can inject intramuscularly is what I recommend. Uh, so uh, now, things like GH, people have an opinion about injecting intramuscularly to help with rapid absorption. I'm a I'm okay with the idea of that, in the morning before fasted cardio. But if you're taking, a large enough dose, 4 to 6 IU's before going to bed, I still think you get the downstream effects. Maybe you're not gonna have the highest peaks, but you still get those downstream effects for morning fasted cardio. So I'm not a fan because I don't really know the total outcome of a pH balance degrading the peptides. So growth hormone is peptides, and I'm I would err on the side of caution to continue subcutaneous because that's how uh, uh, the biochemists made it, right? It's there for a reason. Now, they also made it that way because a lot of people don't have a lot of muscle. People do not want to inject in the muscle because sometimes it has a bit of a pain afterwards. Fat is a really easy way to inject without pain. And so if you're injecting a child, they don't have a lot of muscle mass on them, right? But then they have body fat and they don't want to have the pain. It's just easier overall, right? So there's a lot of like reasons why this they made the the directions for growth hormone to say subcutaneous. If it's for ease and for the general public, then okay, I'm wrong. But I've noticed a different effect injecting intramuscularly versus subcutaneous as far as like the continuous thinning of my skin, no water retention and such. Like if I inject intramuscularly, for some reason, I do get like a flare up of water retention. But if I do sub-Q, no problem, right? You can go anywhere. So for me, it's even harder to do sub-Q because I don't have a lot of body fat on me. So um, I have to stick around my belly, my lower abdomen where there's some skin, like loose skin, lower back. Um, but sometimes I'll do my leg, like my thighs. But I'm pulling skin, right? It's kind of like this. I'm just pulling skin. So not always the greatest feeling because it does leave a little bubble under there, but it goes away. Um, so the SS31, it's another peptide to help with mitochondrial health. They use it a lot for people who have neurodegenerative just degeneration and people have had strokes, but it seems to be able to help manage the like if you have like proton leakage, mitochondrial dysfunction. Studies show that 10 milligrams to 20 milligrams is what they recommend, and they say to take it until like the symptoms or the disease is managed. It doesn't say like gone because if you have neuro problems after a stroke, I mean those are lasting effects. But 20 days on, 30 days on, but that's very expensive. I mean, Paramount Peptide in my link tree, they have it in 15 milligram vials. So you'd be doing two vials every 3 days. And so that's like $80. $80 per vial, man. So my plan is to run it at 1 milligram for a while and then go up to 2 milligrams for a while. And I want to do this. I don't even know right now. I'm probably going to do it for about 20 or I'm going to do the 1 milligram for about 20 days. And then the next 20 days, I'm going to do 2 milligrams. And the next 20 days, 3 milligrams if I need to go up that high. But I'm thinking low and slow is the way to go. And then once I start noticing some effects, because I'm assuming the effects may be similar to methylene blue. So I'm not really sure what to feel, but we'll test out that. And then whenever I start noticing some effects, they, you know, I I plan on running MOTS-C. So MOTS-C, I plan on running 2 milligrams uh, twice a week. So from what I understand, MOTS-C, yes, it can help with mitochondrial health as well. Again, all these things are mitochondrial health because we're the more that we're digging into this, it seems like not only in studies with disease state individuals, which again, I don't really care. I care about what is the bodybuilding industry doing. Like, I think the bodybuilding industry is underutilized for studies and peptides and uh, pharmaceuticals. I just think, and nutrition, they're underutilized, right? And habit forming and lifestyle forming, like all these things. Um, and understanding consistency and dedication versus motivation, like these brain, like what's going on in a bodybuilder's brain? Like, can we get like CT scans, active CT scans, fMRIs of bodybuilders like while they're on prep, and then when they're not on prep, while they're taking, Trembolone and all these other things? Why can't we have a privatized clinical study to have people sign uh, a release form and have it administered to them, saying, hey, whatever happens, happens to my health. But we want to know what's going on with these drugs because now we can, like, if we have this information, we can make derivatives of these other anabolic steroids, right? And then we can use these things to help with other problems of muscle wasting diseases, right? Or mitochondrial dysfunction, or increased COMT, or so many other things, right? If there's people that have kidney problems, because a lot of times bodybuilders will have that, not only because of blood pressure issues, right? But also because, and not just because of anabolics, but diabetes, right? So insulin resistance. And and I think that that would be more beneficial as far as like helping people get a grasp on really what is the problem. Lifestyle, diet, uh, nutrition intake. There needs to be a control somewhere. Uh, and right now we're not getting that from the medical experts, okay? Because they're so what's the word I'm looking for, man? It's like they're ignorant to all this, right? And they even in school, so like in school when we took nutrition classes and at UF, they teach you the government points, right? They teach you government FDA standards. And that's not helpful. And that's why physiology, kinesiology, you come out as a strength and conditioning specialist and you can go into in the medical field or in physical therapy. Um, so you do learn sports performance nutrition in there as well, right? So you understand thermodynamics, you understand uh, kinesiology in an athletic setting, or injury recovery and how to get that person to go from that injury back to peak performance. So I guess so. I guess like my main focus is just mitochondrial health. I know that in the past I've had addictive behaviors and I've had eating patterns that was not good. So my insulin sensitivity was not good. I was insulin resistant. My diet, my blood sugar, all over the place. Binge eating, all these things, right? Food focused, um, and for some reason, even if I took copious amounts of ubiquinol CoQ10, like high quality grade, you're taking 400, 600 milligrams a day, right? That's so expensive. That's even more expensive than if I were to do a bottle or two bottles every 3 days of SS31. So I'm on board for this. So if it can do it for short spurts and see a better result, then that's what I'm all for. No, and again, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what to feel. I go into these things just keeping my daily routine and not changing my diet, and there's just things that I don't notice, but then my wife will say, hey, like she notices something, right? Or or we start talking about something and then like about like going out to eat or like buying food in the grocery store and you're like and then it dawns on me like, I'm not even like craving any other types of like sugary foods or like for me barbecue sounds disgusting right now. Like the only thing that sounds good is sushi. And whenever I say sushi, I mean sashimi and nigiri. I don't do any of the mayo crap and all that stuff. To me, that's not sushi. That's like I just need raw fish and rice, and I need it to be fresh. That's sushi to me. That's what I crave, and I'm not craving anything sweet or like a dopamine hit. And um, yeah, even um, like like if you're dieting, something that's very common is like impulsive shopping or just like buying things that you think are something that you think you're going to need, like a Ninja Creamy or a Ninja slushy machine or a soft serve machine. All these things, people are like, oh, these are game changers and stuff. But it's like, I don't even crave ice cream right now. Like, why would I even buy it? Or like a new cooking tool to maybe make my food a different way that's quicker and variety. But it's just these things that like I don't need them in my life, right? Now I still shop for like good deals on things that I already have. So if I'm shopping, it's not really impulsive, it's strategic, right? So for example, like if I'm buying the SS31, like I'm going to be shopping whenever there's a sale going on so that I can buy more and get a better percentage off and just stock up. Same thing with carbohydrate powders, with betaine HCl, with alpha-lipoic acid, with dihydroberberine, all these things that I use. If there's a good deal or liver care, like I get mine from Revive, kidney, same thing with from Revive or Leviathan or Morphogen. All these companies have really good products, Action Sledge. But like if it's on sale and I'm like, oh crap, there's a coupon, I can stack on top of it. Like it's not impulsive, but it does give me that dopamine rush because that's something I'm going to use regardless. Like I'm going to buy it anyways. So if I stock up, totally fine. So it does seem to like my decision making is better, and that's how I plan ahead, so I can save more money in the long run for supplements. Same thing with food. You can cook food, you can freeze it, and you can like if you have free time, you're like, oh man, I have like 3 hours extra in this day. I can go to the store, grab some chicken, I can bulk cook it, and then I can bag it and freeze it. And then now on a Sunday where I would usually do it, now maybe I'm going to go with my family somewhere. We're not going to be in the house or we're going to go on vacation. So it just makes life easier, right? So pretty much this rant, this tangent that I went off on it is just me focusing on my health and my mitochondrial health. And it's a buzzword. It's going to be a buzzword for a while, just like how cortisol was a buzzword, gut brain axis is still a buzzword, superfoods buzzword, um, GLP-1 is a buzzword. People don't understand it, but they see the buzzword and they see people talking about it and they claim benefits. Well, that's all good and dandy claiming benefits, but myself and others out there, there's this guy, Paul Barnett. We're showing you blood work. He shows you his CGM. He is a type 1B diabetic, and he shows you what's going on. And he's on retatrutide, and he was on tirzepatide, I believe, and now he's back on retatrutide, I believe. But there's people that are taking cagrilintide, it's an amylin agonist, so it can help mentally reduce the hunger, but it also does slow down that GI tract a little bit too much. So that's why you know, I don't want it for myself, but there are other people that I do recommend it for. So, but this SS31 has me so intrigued because it even helps with the cardiovascular system, right? So if you've had stroke, it's been a problem, not with like, I'm not a, not hematocrit or hemoglobin or viscosity of your blood. There's other issues genetically, and my ApoB is fine. Uh, Blood work, like I've showed you before, it's all fine. It's great. It's great for what I'm doing, but it's preventative. So if I see something that's happened to my dad, my grandfather, my mom, my grandmother, if I see something, I need to change it. I need to find out what is going on because now it can be preventative for my children. And I have two kids, and that's what I'm trying to do. Same thing with my wife. I showed you her blood work. I called her a client, but you know, there's she has family histories of a lot of things, and to see her blood work improve, I mean, it's night and day. The first objective of everything I do for myself and for my clients is to change blood work. They say, "Oh, I want to lose body fat, I want to build muscle." Okay, well, we got to do something with your blood sugar control, your insulin, your lipids. And again, lipids are so stressed, but yet so unknown. So I don't really care too much about total numbers. Ratios and patterns are really what I look at. Um, and ApoB, there's certain markers, but when you start seeing things, when you start looking at other blood markers of ApoB, HDL, triglyceride, uh, insulin, your fasted insulin, your hemoglobin A1C. Like when you start looking at all these different, your fructoglobin, you start looking at all these things, GGT, like they all play an intricate role. Cystatin C of really what is your body doing, and the bulk of this is sugar damaging the body. That's the conclusion that I'm coming to. And what controls that within the body that tries to manage everything, even even the production of hormones. So if you don't want to go on HRT, you don't want to pin yourself every day, or not every day, but every other day, or you know, twice a week. If you don't want to stick a needle in you, mitochondrial health is what we need. And we were kind of on this track a long time ago when the buzzword was all about creatine phosphate, creatine phosphorus, ATP. So back with bodybuilders, creatine was a huge thing. We just we had we didn't understand it fully. So like we loaded the body um, with sugars on top of creatine because it needed to be transported. Uh, we were there, but we just had some things that we couldn't find through anecdotal evidence yet. It was new science, biopsies, all these different things. Which muscle biopsies would be great for people that are on retatrutide. I think that'd be great. It would be great to see the intramuscular fat and see really what that's looking like while on retatrutide, while on SLU, while on MOTS. But again, that's the plans. So my plans Retta, SLU, not changing anything. And then we're going to go to SS31, which I don't hear anybody talking about, by the way. There's zero people talking about it, but SS31 is what I want. And again, strokes, aneurysms are part of my genetic predisposition. And my family lived on my dad's side had a healthy life, right? The great grandpa was a boxer. My grandpa, he ended up having a stroke, but he was all about supplemental health. He was all about exercise. He was always on the next new thing. He was on polyphenols talking about that before anybody else. Anybody else. Magnesium, methylated B vitamins. He and my grandma, which she's still alive, they were on that before anybody else. They were ahead of their time. But bad things happen because as they get older, food sources change. And I think that's really what the problem was. You stop you stop learning as much as you did because you get stuck in your way, and then you end up eating things that you're putting things into your body that are destroying your body that your body's not used to, and it has to make these adjustments to items. And but he's also a realtor, so he probably got asbestos and he probably got a lot of other molds and such. And so, you know, he was unknown about molds and mitochondrial health, right? Um, but people were asking me about like why, why am I against the healthcare system? And I mean, we can look at like what the physicians are telling you to do. They're talking about to lose weight. This is their advice. Calorie reduction. They say typical goals range 1,200 to 1,500 for women and 1,500 to 1,800 for men. Where are they getting that number from? We have zero idea what you're eating now. So later on, they should say a percentage reduction. Don't give us a number. Give us a percentage reduction. That's what you should be doing. Healthcare providers, percentage reduction. Do not give us absolute numbers. That is stupid. You are dumb for doing that. You are making people binge, and you're making people fall off a dietary lifestyle plan that could suit them because they think they have to stay within that numbers. And then guess what? You tell them calories. You don't tell them anything about macronutrients. So that's your fault. You are killing society. It's not the food and beverage. It's the freaking idiots that are telling us absolute numbers because they're not educated and they're not willing to partner up with sports nutritionists uh, and allow them to work beside the doctors because doctors have egos. Hospital administrators have egos. Pharmaceutical CEOs have egos. And that's what's killing America. Focus on nutrient dense food. Okay, well, the problem is sometimes nutrient dense foods are also very calorie dense foods. Dates are also nutrient dense, but if you freaking pop a few of those, that's a lot of calories, right? I like them for bodybuilders. I like them for low fat diets. People who are building muscle when they need calories from carbohydrates. Dates are awesome. Limit processed foods, sugary drinks, and the healthy fats. Problem is, you go into the hospital, there's vending machines. full of processed foods, sugary drinks, and unhealthy fats. Right there, right when you walk in. How can you tell someone to not do that whenever you're advertising right there and as you're walking in to the facility to get better health? Meal replacements for the short time. Yeah, we all see how Slim Fast really helped everybody and lose weight, and now everyone's skinny, right? We have zero obese people. Regular physical activity. So regular exercise doesn't really say about exercise. Aerobic and muscle strength building activities. So again, at least that's right. But the problem is that they don't set you up with anybody. They don't set you up with a strength and conditioning specialist to be able to do this. There's many people in my industry, in my field, that don't have good like good paying jobs where they end up being physical therapists just to help with recovery of injuries. We should be helping people with exercise the correct way, not a personal trainer that went and got something online and is working for EOS, Crunch Fitness, Gold's Gym, or whatever other Planet Fitness. Those are not personal trainers. Those are worthless people. Go get a physiology and kinesiology degree before you start messing with people. Okay, prescription medication, semaglutide, tirzepatide, liraglutide, phentermine, naltrexone. Oh, so you want, um, let's put some antidepressants on people. Oral stat, okay? So oral stat, again, blocks fat. Now you have a bunch of runny poo in your underwear because you can't digest the fat. Um, Supplements, green tea extract, glucosamine, berberine, protein powder, probiotics. Probiotics is a very hard one to say because there's so many different strands, so many different uh, products out there. It's not just probiotics, it's pre, pro, and para. And then behavioral strategies, intensive behavior therapy, which again, insurance doesn't freaking cover. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Insurance doesn't cover anything. And those behavioral psychologists and psychiatrists, I hope you're practicing what you're preaching. Mindful eating. Uh, Again, focus on hunger and fullness cues, which you can't do if you're insulin resistant, your leptin, ghrelin can't regulate. You have dopamine problems, dopamine from your phone, dopamine from all these food things that we have available to us on our hand, on our phone. People watch TV, brain shuts off. We don't have a connection to a gut brain uh, access to be able to shut off when hunger's there. Plus, you don't say anything, nothing on here says stop drinking alcohol, right? Nothing on here. Alcohol, it's backing up your liver. I would say cigarettes, but the problem is cigarettes isn't the problem, right? It's alcohol. Your liver can't function. Your body's not going to be able to utilize nutrition very well. It's not going to be able to burn fat. Liver needs to be working very, very well. Have you cannot have a lot of visceral fat around your liver. You cannot have a lot of fat inside your liver. Okay. Now we need more supplementation. There should be other things on here. There should be injectable L-carnitine, right? It should be a lot of, injectable inositol, uh, choline, methanol. I mean, all these different things that we should be having, NAD, uh, glutathione. There's so many other things. But they neglected out of all of this to stop drinking alcohol. Just stop. Like, I don't drink alcohol. You want to get off? You want to help get off of it? When you go to the social events, drink water, right? And take retatrutide. Retatrutide is helping people get away from addictions as long as you are doing your part. I don't understand why people say they just get a drink only when in an environment where they're at a party or something. That's the worst time to have a drink. Oh, I can control my alcohol. I can control myself. No, you can't. I'm sorry, you cannot. I've been to a lot of functions, work functions, and you cannot control yourself. You say some dumb things. You you look unhealthy. And what, you're afraid they're gonna say, why aren't you drinking? Every time I go to a function, I'm not drinking. I don't smoke cigars, I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do any of that. Why don't you? Well, because I want to stay healthy, you know. I practice what I preach. That's why. I'm an example for my child. I'm not going to waste money on alcohol. I'm not going to waste calories on alcohol. I'm not going to destroy my organs. I want to be able to live a very healthy life that I can move and play and work out as I get older and enjoy my time as I get older and not die from freaking fatty liver disease and cirrhosis and get jaundice and all this other bull crap that you're causing our healthcare to 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 be infatuated with. I mean, the amount of diabetics, obese people, alcoholics that are coming into our healthcare system and using all of our medical benefits, there's a reason why our premiums are so freaking high. It's because those people that are they are choosing to destroy their life, they're choosing to do all that, and yet we have to pay for that. I think that's very unfair, very unfair. And I've worked in the hospital settings, I've worked in the ICUs, and I see it. So those are the reasons why I'm against the healthcare. I'm against alcohol. I'm against a lot of that because those are choices, those are accountability choices that you're making that's destroying you, but it's also affecting me. So uh, that's it, man. If you made it this far, like, share, comment, subscribe, share this, comment, tell me how you can handle your alcohol, and alcohol is awesome and it's great, and vodka is 0 calories, and yeah, yeah, whatever. Let me know. Let me know if you have any other questions. If you need anything, reach out. My link tree is below. DM me on Instagram at fit.dad.lifestyle. That's it.